Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is week 6 of History 24-1, World War II. I hope everyone is excited to get into the 6th week of course. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I find it hard to believe that we only, after this week, have 2 weeks worth of class. It's just amazing how quickly this semester has flown by, at least for me. I'm sure for you it's been a little bit less quick due to the fact that you're actually doing the work. I'm grading it, so I guess it's a little bit of a difference. Excuse me, I just got done lecturing to an hour and 20 minutes to 2 different courses, so my throat's a little sensitive. I just wanted to remind everybody that yes, after this week, we only have 2 weeks left. I want you guys to make sure that you are finishing strong. I don't want anybody slacking or taking your foot off the gas pedal. This is when the last 2 to 3 weeks is the most important. This is the paper and the presentation. So I want everybody to make sure that you are finishing as strongly as you can. I also want to remind everybody again, as I do every week, that if you're lost or you need any help, please do not hesitate to get a hold of me. I'm here for you if you need me. There's no questions too small or too big for me. If I don't know the answer, I will find out for you either from a department chair or a dean or from whatever office that you need the information from. So while we still have some time, it's running out, so if you have any questions or concerns, you got to let me know. Now, last week we looked at the later portion of the European War, pretty much the high water mark of the Nazi regime, and we went all the way through the disastrous invasion of the Soviet Union. We looked at the issues with Benito Mussolini and all the setbacks that he had in the Mediterranean theater. We saw how North Africa opened up for an invasion of Italy, and we ended the week culminating with the Allied victory of Normandy and the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from the Nazi regime and the Italians. We of course, refer to this as D-Day. This week, we're going to shift back to the Pacific Theater. We're going to look at what happened in the Pacific Theater after the Battle of Midway. So we already, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, we looked at the Pacific Theater to the Battle of Midway. Now we're going to look at the Battle of Midway. And we're going to take that and look at the decisions by both the Allies and the Japanese, and how it not only developed the overall strategy, but how it affected the outcome of the Pacific War as a whole. What decisions did they make, and how did it affect each different particular area? We'll finally end with the beginning of the Japanese kamikaze tactics. We will discuss those and start setting up the course for the final 2 weeks, which will be the end of the war and how it comes about. This week, our learning module is Learning Module 6. It's entitled The Destruction of the Japanese Empire. These assignments are due next Sunday, October 14th at 11:59. After this unit, there are 3 things that you should be able to do. You should be able to evaluate the decisions that shaped the nature of the Pacific War. You should be able to explain how the war in the Pacific was different than the war in the Atlantic or the European theater. And you should look at the extent of race and how it played a role in the nature of the warfare in the Pacific Theater. And many of you successfully discussed this in your, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, discussions. We had a great discussion. I know me and Marky did, and me and a few other people did, about how race determined the conduct of the war and how we got caught off guard by the Japanese. I mean, we were so worried about an eventual attack by the Germans at some point that we almost were caught off guard that the Japanese could get away with this. So before you complete the assignments, you do have some reading this week. I need you to do 3 readings out of A War to Be Won, The Asian Pacific War, The Destruction of Japanese Naval Power, and The Destruction of the Japanese Empire. I need you to do 3 sections in the Rutledge Atlas of the Second World War, Section 4, Section 5, and Section 10. The page numbers are listed below. And I need you to do chapters 9 through 19 in Eagle Against the Sun. Finally, there is one article for you that is a library article. You should have a link to that, and it's called Race and Identity, the Culture of Combat in the Pacific War. Once you have the reading assignments done, I would love to have you guys do the discussion this week. Remember to try to submit your discussion as early as possible. The longer it's up, the more we can go back and forth and talk about it. And the prompt this week is, after you do your reading, to assess to what extent you believe racial identity played a role in the nature of combat in the Pacific. Did race serve as a critical catalyst, or were other factors more relevant to the destructive nature of the war in the Pacific? Again, I set this up many ways. I had you start thinking about this 2 weeks ago when we started talking about the Pacific War. Now it will come to pass. When you respond to your classmates, please choose someone who argued a different position than you and assess their conclusions in a polite, reasonable way. Make sure that if you disagree with them, you are polite about it and you tell them why and provide evidence. Guys, one of the major things I see week to week is that people are posting and you're putting information in, but you're not giving us any kind of citations. If you're using source material, please remember you must cite. So that is very important. The other assignment you have this week is simple. Keep working. Keep working on your final paper. There is no milestone this week. There is no formal written assignment. All you have to do is work on your final paper. Okay? If you have any questions about the final paper, there's a checklist. It's the Milestone 3 Final Project Rough Draft Checklist. You also have the Final Project Guidelines and Rubric that you can look at. Both of those things can help you in crafting your final paper. Also, if you have any questions about this item or any of the other items, there are assignment guidelines and rubrics within the folder that can help you, or you can email or call or text me, and I will happily respond to you as well. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. I'll be around all week. Hopefully, this week will be a little calmer. This week, I had my sister in town who, fun fact, I have never met. She's a half-sister from my father's first marriage. So from Thursday to Sunday afternoon, we were getting to know my sister, her husband, and my 10-year-old niece, who I had never met. So that was a fun experience. Busy. This week, my wife is on call, so I should be around the house pretty much the entire week, unless we go out to eat or something. So if you need me, please get a hold of me. Email me, call me, any of those ways, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, guys, have a good week, and good luck. Goodbye.